Good afternoon, everybody. Hope y'all having a good day. We want to talk a little bit about some stuff that's been going on the world stage, mostly about China and everything else that's going on like that. Begin with, we've been talking about messing with Iran, and Iran's a big threat in the Middle East. And in my opinion, it is not. They do not have the capabilities really of military onslaught against somebody like the United States, or barely against Saudi Arabia or any of the other countries, really. I mean, they are big and they are bad, but they're not as big as everybody's putting them out to be. Again, we can look at how many nuclear weapons they have versus everybody else, and how big their military is versus everybody else's, and how technologically advanced they are versus everybody else's. Again, all this kind of stems from this one little country that's on the Red Sea that starts with the letter I and has a bunch of people that follow the religious disorder that starts with a J. And the reason I am using the initials, guys, is because now they have come out with a law that says if you talk about this country that starts with an I or this religion that starts with a J, well, then you're charged with a federal hate crime, anti-Semitism. Okay? And so now we have to be careful what we say about who, what, and where. All right? So there we go. So this big country with this country, little country that starts with the letter I in the Middle East is stirring up a bunch of hoo-ha. We've heard the reports about the genocide and everything else like that that's going on with these guys. Make no mistake, they are annihilating this group of people that lives on the Red Sea also. It is genocide. Children are being killed left and right, murdered in the wide open. Journalists and emergency aid workers and things like that, guys. It is nothing but pure genocide. And the only people that's really responsible for it is people running the military, and we know that is the guy with the name of Not Yet Yahoo. Okay, so we'll say it like that because, again, there's anti-Semitism laws out there now that you can go to prison for. So we have to be careful about this. But anyway, all this is stirred up because of this one group of people, whatever it is, the ones that always play a victim, and they really are troublemakers. All right, just plain and simple. Anyway, that country, Iran, is not really the problem. The other country that starts with the letter I on the Red Sea is the problem. Plain and simple. People are seeing it left and right. Mostly because Mr. Donald Trump has professed to be one of those religious disorders that starts with a J. So now everybody don't like the group of people with the religious disorder that starts with the letter J. Okay, before that, there's all good and everything with them, and now they're bad because Donald Trump is kind of friendly towards them. Anyway, back to the story. Iran is not the problem. Okay, we are standing up against a larger country, one that's even got, that can whoop our butts right now. I'll be honest with you, and that is China. As far as it stands up, guys, as far as nuclear weapons, I looked it up and everything. China does not have that many as far as, United States or Russia or anybody else has. They have around 470 reported. United States has around 5,200, 5,300 that they are saying, and they are active. And Russia has around 5,800. Okay, these are nuclear warheads that can really do some damage, no doubt about it. Earlier today, someone had came on and made us say that our nuclear arsenal is old and depreciated and everything. It's not going to be effective against a war country that's dedicated towards war right now as China. And so I did some checking, of course, and found out that they have been going through and have been doing it for the last decade, renewing our nuclear arsenal. And they will continue to do so for the next 10 years or until they get to where they want to be. This is an ongoing situation now. Instead of just making them, letting them sit there and wait till they get ready to use them, well, now they've figured out, well, we have to go through and make sure these things are up to date and up to snuff and everything. So they are cycling through all our nuclear warheads, all our nuclear arsenal, getting them ready to be used. They are getting ready to be used. The other day, Donald Trump came on and was talking about that we don't need to fear this, the other thing like that. What we need to fear, the heat. He was talking about the climate change, in fact. And he's talking, we don't need to fear about the climate heat from the climate change. So that's nothing compared to what else is coming. And what else is coming? He said, we need to fear the nuclear heat. Nuclear heat. So that tells me, guys, that we're going to get really hot with some nuclear heat here soon. And I don't mean from our our nuclear power plants explode and stuff like that, it's going to be raining nuclear armament down upon us. Where can this come from? Well, we know where. But there's other places that we can do, guys. We're being invaded with unfriendly forces inside of the United States, and they have the capability of putting together small strategic nuclear weapons or bombs and everything. We also have radiation that goes on through here from magnetics and everything like that. But anyway, back to the story, guys. I'm sorry. The reason we have problems with China, guys, this started a long time ago. We can go back to the Korean War, Vietnam, etc., like that. When actually we ran up against China in Korea, and they kicked our butt. We run up against China in Vietnam, and guess what happened? We went home with our tails tucked between our legs, right? Y'all remember all this. Y'all heard about all this, and that's the truth. So therefore, ever since then, 1952 or whatever it was, 54, we have been at odds with Red China. Plain and simple. Now, they have been advancing and everything like that, They've gone through troubles and everything like that. But now, guys, I want you to understand that they are the leader in the world on several fronts, more so than you can expect. They have been going out and doing what the United States used to do is help these other countries build up their infrastructure, but with a promise that, you owe us, you will help us, you will do this and that and the other, much like the United States did. Well, they had a big economic boost. They got some money from the World Bank and built an infrastructure, and therefore stretched out across the globe, trying to build up the Silk Road trade route again, like I told y'all the other day. This has been China's big economic boost. It's been going on for a number of years. The other thing is, well, they're outspending us. They're out profiting us. They're out doing everything. Also, they've been buying up all the mineral rights, all the gold, etc., etc. So this is causing a big problem for not only for the United States, but for everybody else in the world, that this one country, like the United States used to do, has control of most of the mineral and resources of the planet Earth. That is creating a big problem. So there again, that puts a big red target on top of Red China, as you might say. So they are beating us out in that era. Not only that, but technology. Let's go look at that. They're beating us out in not only in electrical vehicles, solar powered energies. They're beating us out in computers, cell phones, and other technology. They are kicking us butt in robotics, and they are kicking our butt in artificial intelligence. So, and also in manufacturing. Where do we get most of our goods? Well, from China. Why? Because they kick our butts with producing everything and anything they want. So this has posed a big problem for the United States, that we have somebody that's more powerful in almost every area that's possible, and would create a situation that we will go to war with. And yes, we are going to war with China. Our land is not a big problem at all. We can whoop their butts in a few weeks, a few months, whatever, less than 6 months, guys. Really, no problem at all. We have the things in place to go. It might even be 6 weeks. Remember Kuwait? Wow. So anyway, back to the subject. We are getting ready to go to war with China. We are not there yet. We live near steel mills, and every morning we're waking up and seeing these long dormant or nearly dormant steel mills with big red glows going on in the background. The United States, Trump announced that he's making a deal. They're going to try to make a deal with Nippon Steel to buy up U.S. Steel in the United States. Nippon is from Japan. Japan has started moving armament onto their shores, pointing it at China. Japan was not allowed that for ever since World War II to have strategic weapons. Only defensive, not offensive, no offensive weapons, but defense only, unless it was approved by the United States and supplied and manned by the United States. So that has changed also. Yes, we are going to war with China. Guys, everything is pointing this. But the thing is, guys, we ain't ready. As I just mentioned, they're beating us out in so many different areas, especially in the technology field, that we are not ready. It's going to take us at least 6 months, minimum 6 months, before we're geared up and ready to go bang heads with China. And there's no doubt about that at all. You just need to pay attention to what's going on. We see it. We're watching economic wars. Guys, we've been at war with China for a very long time. It started out with an economic war, and it moved into electronic warfare, technology as far as computers and cell phones, and now the computer chips, and now it's moved into an artificial intelligence warfare. That is what we're at war with China right now. We've got 6 or 7 different areas, strategic areas that we need to take China out of circulation about. And that is enough. If you say you got a rating 10 scale, well, 6 or 7 out of 10 means that we are going there. It is more probable that we will move to a war situation with China. And guys, before they tell you that it's going to be World War III, believe you me, because of the space type weapons, space launch weapons that we have, the U.S. Space Force, and everything like that, that this will be a global war, Global War One. Another point I want to make out about this, that we are entering into a Cold War, if you will. A lot of people's talking about this Cold War. Remember what happened when Russia started launching stuff into space. They was the first ones to do this, that, and the other, and everything with the space launches, orbiting, and everything like that. The first man. Well, when they started doing that, guess what happened? We went into a Cold War when they did this. Remember? Do y'all remember back then when they launched the first spaceship and orbited? Very shortly after that, they announced we was at a Cold War with Russia. China has been launching stuff, satellites, space stations. They even landed on the moon and got orbiters going on. Well, guess what? We announced we're in a Cold War with China. I hope y'all have a groovy day today, guys, because I'm telling you right now, things are looking kind of crazy that we're going to war. Pay attention to stuff, guys, because it's right there in your face and everything. I hope y'all have a groovy day. Do something nice. Again, like always, do something nice for yourself as well as somebody else. It goes a lot further if you reach out and help somebody and just be friendly. Later, taters.